Okay, so now we're going to do the little meditation of blessing our speech. So why would we do this? Think about this. Why would we do that? Well, we have body. This is all part of the meditation, okay? So think about this. We have a body that does things, okay? And we have speech. So the greatest benefit of the Buddha is speech. You can look at the Buddha, very beautiful for 1,000 years, but not much good will come. You need the Buddha to explain with his mouth, his words, his thoughts, expressed as thoughts. His thoughts expressed as words. That's what we need. So think about in our life, we need speech. We all have to function. We have to speak to our children. We have to speak to our sister. We have to speak to the shopkeeper. We have to talk. Speech is one of the most powerful parts of us. We don't pay attention to it. We don't think it matters. Oh, I can say what I like, we say, which is this worst, a nihilistic view that somehow things don't have a result. We can see in our lives that we mightn't kill and steal too many times, but the speech is absolutely a disaster. We mightn't shout. We say confused things. We make nonsense up. We vomit out of our mouth really confused things, and we think it doesn't matter. Well, doesn't matter means we think it doesn't have an effect. Forget on other people, but on ourselves, and therefore on other people, because our speech is, uncontrolled, just rabbiting on about nothing, saying things that aren't true. And 90% of the time we're speaking stuff that's not true. We just read things and vomit it out. Abusive speech, and then speech bad-mouthing people behind their back, criticizing. So what do you think we're doing to ourselves, This is the real meaning of karma. The very first step is to realize we harm ourselves, not to mention make ourselves happy. So for our benefit, we need to learn to become conscious of our speech, because that expresses what's in the mind. And our trouble in our culture is because we don't know what's going on in our mind, we have to vomit it out so then we can hear it ourselves. Well, it's too late, So speech is so powerful. They talk about the power of speech. So how do you get powerful speech? How do you get speech that even people want to listen to? How do you get speech that gets you to get what you want very simply in your life, to function at work, at home? Well, very first is be silent. Intentionally, not passive aggressively. Consciously be silent. Consciously don't say words. This itself is a tremendous practice, but it's got to be intentional, not passive. The next one is powerful. Refrain from inappropriate speech, which is speech that's not true, lying. Now that includes speculating, because we all read so much news and see so many things and we say so many words, and half the time they're opinions, other people's opinions, and we just say them. We're not sure if we're speaking the truth. We have no idea. We don't think it matters. So what do you think it's doing to ourselves? Confusing our own mind and making our speech weak. No one wants to hear our speech. It's just, oh, here she goes again, people just turn off. Or just rabbiting on about nothing, kind of nervously. Just blur, 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 And then there's harsh speech, abusing people, which is evident how it hurts, and not to mention harming us. And then speech behind backs, which we love to do. We're endlessly criticizing politicians, family, colleagues, next door neighbors, the person in front of us on the street, on the bus, in the car, constantly finding fault. So what do you think we're doing to ourselves? This is the first point about karma. So the consequence of this is we suffer, we're unclear, we harm ourselves, we create negative habits, and whoever wants to listen to our words? We can never achieve anything because we can't get anything done because no one wants to hear us. No one wants to do our wishes. We wonder why when you go to the shop, they're not even listening to you. So speech is tremendously powerful. And if you want to help others, this is what you need, speech, It's incredible. like anything, it's got to be conscious. It's got to realize it, think about it. So I'm trying to find the practice. I need it myself. Mary, I don't want you to put it. Maybe it's best to put it up, Mary. Go on. Put it up here. So you just have to meditate as I talk on the actual visualization. And then when the time is right, you can look up and see and say the mantras. At 3 different times you have to say some words, okay? So just contemplate now. Scroll up, Mary, so I can see the different stages. Okay. So now just think, if you've got a practice and you have deity practice and you think of yourself as the deity, if not, you visualize Buddha above your crown, okay? If you haven't got a practice. Otherwise, you see yourself as a deity. Just imagine Buddha in front. And delight that we've got, this is coming from Buddha's advice, so we'd be delighted that we've got the Buddha who's giving us advice which we want to practice. We rely upon the Buddha, sort of in the mind, take refuge. And think the reason we're doing this is for our sake, but also for the sake of others. So have a bodhicitta motivation for doing this practice. I'm going to be a bit late today, I'm sorry. It's 10 to 8 already. You have to go, please go. So now you do the visualizing. Just imagine, okay? On your tongue, you imagine there's the Sanskrit syllable ah. It's written in Tibetan. Never mind, just do it as in the Roman letters, AH. Just visualize, imagine, on your tongue, standing upright. Just do your best, imagine it, on your tongue. So now you think it turns into now a moon disc, like a flat cushion, white cushion on your tongue. So now you imagine on top of this white moon is a white syllable, Om, standing upright. Om, standing upright. And it's encircled by the by the Sanskrit vowels. Obviously, we don't know these, so you just have to pretend, you know, I'm sorry, we'll do our best. Imagine they're all standing upright, circled clockwise, white vowels surrounding the white Om on our tongue. Just imagine. These little letters standing upright. And then circling counterclockwise, now the red consonants. And then clockwise around those are the blue syllables of the heart mantra of dependent relation. The Lama Zopa Rinpoche's term, we might say, mantra of dependent arising, standing clockwise, okay? So why Sanskrit? Because the Tibetans, they write them in their letters, but they've not translated them. They keep the Sanskrit. It's said to be something powerful about the sounds of Sanskrit, something very pure. This is a very subtle point, obviously, and it's not evident to us. So all the mantras and things, they leave it in Sanskrit. So visualize on all this on your tongue. So now you imagine light beams, the color of these three, goes out to all the 10 directions. North, south, east, west, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, up and down, 10 directions. Imagine light goes out, beaming light beams, white, red, and blue, to all the 10 directions. And what it does is hook the energy of the blessed body, the blessed speech, power of speech, of all the Buddhas, all the Bodhisattvas, all the yogis, all the Arya beings, all those who've perfected their speech, hooks this energy from all the 10 directions. And all this energy comes back with all the lights. Go back, Mary. Yeah, that's right. No, don't go back. So then, as Rinpoche says, all these beings, these are those who are beyond the world, are the Buddhas, the Arya Bodhisattvas, those who realize emptiness, abiding in the 3 pure bhumis, and all the arhants, those who've quit samsara, and all those not beyond the world, who are the yogis who are accomplishing the path, and all the sages who have actualized the words of truth, the power of speech. So due to the power of abiding in silence, and living in the morality of abstaining from negative karmas of speech, the words of these sages have much power, and so whatever they wish is successful. All their blessings and the power of speech are hooked back in the form of all these mantras, and all comes back and absorbs into the mantras on our tongue, okay, making them radiant and blissful and delicious, full of power. Imagine this, okay? So now, as we now, just now as we recite, first of all, the syllable, the vowels, you visualize white nectar beams flow down from the syllables on your tongue and fill your entire body. So now you imagine all the negative karma collected with your body from beginningless rebirths, all the countless rebirths, especially as animals. Animals are the most suffering when it comes to physically harming because of such fear, living in fear of being killed and eaten alive. So such harm to each other. All the harm we've done to any sentient being since beginning this time with our bodies, including in this life, which have left karmic seeds in our mind, which will ripen as our future suffering, which we do not want. All of this karma instantly purified by this blissful nectar, white nectar, filling us from top to toe. So happy, so delighted. But also thinking, first of all, thinking that, but also thinking it's purifying our body itself right now. The sickness, the heaviness, the difficulties of this body of ours, which we lug around, that seems so huge and dominates our lives, isn't it, this body? Imagine. Completely purifies the body, make it light and delicious, But purifying all the negative karma since beginningless time, this white nectar, radiant, filling us, as we recite the syllables 3 times. Om, a, e, u, ri, li, e, o, ang, swaha. Om, a, e, u, ri, li, e, o, ang, swaha. Om, a, e, u, ri, li, e, o, ang, swaha. Imagine. Totally purified all the karma we've ever created from harming others with our bodies and making our body radiant and light and clear. And also thinking, now this body is purified, it can only be of benefit to others. Imagine this in our day-to-day life. Whoever sees us, hears us, all the creatures who smell us, taste us, touch us, all the birds, all the bugs, all the humans, all the animals, whoever sees us, has any contact with us, can only be benefited by this body of ours. Can you imagine? Amazing. And then, of course, the future potential to manifest in countless bodies to be of benefit to sentient beings. All this potential. Imagine that. How marvelous. So now imagine nectar pouring, red nectar pouring down from the blessed consonants on our tongue, pouring, filling our entire body, okay? This time, purifying the speech. Of course, this is as humans. Animals have a few sounds. I don't know if spirits or hell beings have sounds, but animals have a few sounds, don't they? But they're not very articulate. They might shout at each other to make them fearful, But look at humans with our clever, all our incredible conceptual thoughts, all expressing as these unbelievably sophisticated sounds, which we call speech, which we call words, all of which have meaning. So imagine all the harm we've ever done with our ridiculous speech, all the uncontrolled speech. We often feel we can't express ourselves properly. We don't know what we mean. We're confused. We're blah, blah, blah. We have no idea what we mean. And then we end up upsetting people. We don't realize, we don't mean to, not to mention the conscious lying, the abusive, the bad mouthing, and the rabbiting on. All of this confused, rubbish speech. And since beginning this time, all our countless human lives, and we've harmed with this speech, caused so much suffering to others. I mean, look at right now, just look at, we don't hear speech when we read all these websites, but it's all coming out of speech, isn't it? It's written down as words. Look at the utter confusion on this planet, all the conspiracy theories, about anything. People have, we have our opinions and they're just conspiracy theories. They're all rubbish. We have no idea most of the time that what we say is true. We have no idea, and we don't think it matters. This is beyond imagination. The suffering is causing, the confusion and misery in people's minds, because of reading and hearing all this garbage, junky stuff coming out the mouth. The harm it does is incredible. So imagine purifying all this. Be so happy. So right now in this life, purifying all the rubbish, this red nectar filling us, and all the karmic imprints within this time, harming others with our speech. Eradicated, purified, this blissful red nectar filling us. As we say the consonants. Om ka 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 ga nga cha 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 janya ta 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 dana ta 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 dana pa pa ba ba ma yada lava shasha sahaksa swaha. Om ka 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 ga nga cha 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 janya ganya. That was a different one. Ta 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 dana ta 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 dana. Pa pa ba ba ma yara lava shasha sahaksa swaha. Om ka ka ga ga cha 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 janya ta 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 dana ta 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 dana pa pa ba ba ma yara lava shasha sahaksa swaha. Imagine now, imagine your speech now purified, and whatever comes out of your mouth, even your laugh, even saying good morning, will benefit whoever hears you. Can you imagine this? Something as simple as this, People are desperate and one kind word from you can help them. Can you imagine that? It is true, it's possible. One kind word can help a person. So imagine now your speech can only be of benefit. How incredible. Full of this potential. And of course, the future. Speech is able to lead people to enlightenment. How amazing. Full of this nectar, full of this potential. Red, filling us. So now we purify the mind, which is the source of everything, isn't it? So now as we recite this mantra, originally calls it the heart mantra of dependent relation. Some people would say the mantra of dependent arising. These are blue syllables, okay? And because it's the mind, this is the dependent arising, is the clique of logics to prove emptiness. By reciting these sounds, it helps us get wisdom. But imagine, of course, it purifies all the delusions. The ignorance that believes in the intrinsic me and you and everything else, the attachment to get what that I wants, the aversion and all the other dramas in the mind that are the source of our pain and the source of the harm we do with our body and speech. All of this eradicated, because these are not at the core of our being, Buddha has found, which is incredible. Eradicated, full of this radiant blue nectar, eradicating them instantly as we recite 3 times. Om ye dhamma hetu pabhava hetun teshan tatagato yevadat teshan chayo niroda evam vadi maha shamana ye svaha. Om ye dhamma hetu pabhava hetun teshan tatagato yevadat teshan chayo niroda evam vadi maha shamana ye svaha. Om ye dhamma hetu pabhava hetun teshan tatagato yevadat teshan charo niroda evam vadi maha shamana ye svaha. Totally purified. Imagine your mind clear, radiant, virtuous, and blissful. That's the bonus. So now you imagine on your tongue the heart mantra dependent relation. All those letters absorb, the blue absorb into the red consonants. The red consonants absorb into the white vowels. The white vowels absorb into the om. And the om dissolves, white om dissolves into the white moon disc. And then the white moon disc transforms into a syllable R. And now imagine the R melts into pink nectar. It's so wonderful. I just love this. Dissolves into pink nectar and absorbs into your tongue. As Rinpoche says, which becomes of the nature of a vajra. So Rinpoche says your tongue becomes very heavy and strong, as if difficult to move, and as indestructible as a vajra. In general, have very strong confidence that all the blessings and power of the speech of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas and the Arhants and the yogis and the sages have entered into your speech and made it perfect. Think, my speech has become perfect, which means virtuous and wise. That's it, you know. Even saying good morning is beneficial, incredible, just incredible. Keep going up, the dedication now. Mary, keep sliding up to the dedication. Let me just see the dedication. That's it. So now the sweet little prayer to finish, okay? May my tongue, I just, these things, who would ever have thought you do a meditation on your tongue? It just sounds so hilarious, doesn't it? May my tongue sense base have all the courage of the ones gone to bliss. By the magnificence and power of my words, may all sentient beings be subdued. May all the meanings of whatever words I say be accomplished. Wow. I just love this. So delicious. Okay. So be very happy we've done this. Purified eons of rubbish speech and become intentional, conscious. Even just, I mean, if you could just have one day when you consciously decide not to say those negative words. And forget even if no one can hear you. If you're sitting in your home on your own, don't just say all those words, oh, well, no one hears me. No, you impact upon yourself for your own benefit. Control the speech. And if you do say words, consciously make them positive, make them kind. It's a powerful practice, you know. We never think this way when it comes to meditating. Oh, I want to be mindful. Yeah, what for? So then you open your mouth and you're in the kitchen. It's useful. So beneficial, okay, people. So we've done this practice, thought about the meaning of it. Jang chub sem chog, rinpoche ma ke panam ke gyu chig, ke panyam pa me pa yang gong ne gong du fel ba shog. And we think, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, put the swift prayer up, Mary, if you have it there. You don't have it, never mind. If you just think those words His Holiness wrote, that Rinpoche has passed away, such a loss, but may he come back, may the smile of a reincarnation beams very soon. May we see, we know we've found him in Nepal somewhere, but may we very soon see his face and see his beaming smile so we can continue to, you know, as he gets older, get teachings from him. And we can become like him. Okay, people, thank you so much. Much love. Have a good day, everybody. Everybody. So happy to see you all. Much love.
Right, Venerable.